You are watching a Titan Ed video review. These reviews are for 13 plus collectors. If you are not a collector, please click away. Okay, let's face it. The black repaint always just looks a little bit better than the original. And welcome to another Titan Ed video review. So yes, I'm going to be reviewing Soundblaster and not Soundwave. I do have Soundwave, but I'm pretty sure everyone has spoken their piece about the Soundwave figure and all its various so-called flaws. But since this was recently released at Walmart, of all places, exclusively at Walmart, okay, I figured I'll go ahead and review it so I can also get the mold out of the way. So yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The vehicle mode. Okay, listen. Cybertronian ship, they don't have to be aerodynamic. So yeah, it's goofy looking, it's weird, but I don't completely hate it. If you look at it, the fact that Soundwave is a communications officer, and I'd imagine Soundblaster is also continues to be a communications officer, you could easily state that this was an old comms ship. You know, you could easily state that this holds a bunch of communications equipment in the front to help with transmitting data around Cybertron. So, yeah. Just going to put that out there. Other than that, the vehicle mode isn't terrible. Trust me, Reflector is much worse when it comes to the Cybertronian vehicle modes. But, yeah, I wish they could have done something a little bit more with the feet. Or with the legs. These would be the legs. I wish they would do something a little bit more with them, but you're going to spend this figure's going to spend 90% of its time in robot mode, so doesn't really matter. Now, I will point out with the design, I do like how they did the engines. They have a very engine nacelle look to them, like from Star Trek. So I kind of like that. That's very nice. So yeah. If there's only one thing about the figure I don't understand is this little gray piece right there. I don't know why Hasbro went the need to put that there. It's literally on its own little hinge. So, yeah, it doesn't serve any purpose in robot mode. Other than to spin around and be the peg hole for his shoulder cannon. It doesn't serve any purpose here in vehicle mode. So it's pointless. Yeah. I don't know why. Anyway, let us get on to the comparison of alternate modes, or toy comparisons. So we have the Soundblaster, and here's obviously Soundwave to compare colors. I do have to say the scuffing shows up a lot better on Soundblaster with that black plastic than it does here. But yeah, Hasbro went a little heavy on Soundblaster, in my opinion. I think a little bit lighter, or a little darker gray would have worked a little bit better for him. Like almost a gunmetal. Also, weirdly enough, never mind. I wasn't sure why this was transparent. I guess the plastic used for the head molds is different from the plastic they use for the doors in the back. So that is actually a nice touch. I kind of wish that this was yellow instead of translucent clear. It signifies the cockpit, I think, a little bit better. Even shows off some molded detail better than you would. It's like, I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera. Yeah, see? You can see molded detail in the cockpit. You don't actually see that on the clear one as easily. So that's nice. and compare him to the previous review, Spinister, because I didn't do it in the last one, and I got some grief for it. But yeah. So, yeah, not bad. So on to the next mode. Okay, Hasbro. I know how you like to make these callbacks to Generation 1. But a lamppost mode? A lamppost mode? For the love of Primus. Okay, say what you want about the lamppost mode, but Hasbro really is proving they want to be considered the budget version of Masterpiece, because this robot mode is perfect. Like, 98%. There's a few problems, but this is mostly due to kibble problems. And I honestly don't care. This is just perfect. The only big two flaws, again, like I said, one of them is going to be kibble issues. Because of the way he transforms, he's a little hollow on his forearms. But that's it. The other is the battle damage. I really don't like it being on that screen. I really would have preferred that screen to just be totally clean, especially on the Soundblaster version. But man, this looks great. It is just perfect. The Soundwave version is also perfect, but this one looks just as perfect. And the difference in colors helps a lot of it, kind of with the black plastic, with some of the difference in colors, really help it pop better. And it's just great. I mean, he's got the molded fingers, so you can have him set up to press the button. And because this is Soundblaster, he's actually designed to hold 2 cassettes. Now, I would put Rumble and Ratbat in there. However, that plastic is a bit of a tight fit. And I'm actually afraid to put them in. The last time I put a cassette in there, it got stuck. And it took me a hot minute to get it out without busting up the plastic. Or without busting up the cassette door. I'm not going to risk that with Soundblaster. So we're just going to leave that empty from now on. It's one of the reasons I end up wanting to hopefully pick up a second one of these to see if maybe I got a dud Soundblaster with a problem with this cassette door, is to find out that. But yeah, the design is nearly perfect. And hold on just a second, people. I get nearly halfway through the review and forgot that Soundwave comes with this extra piece. This kind of revolver handgun job, which can split in half. You can take his shoulder cannon, plug it in there, take his main gun, plug that in there, and now you've got a super gun of some kind. Yeah, no. Not really. However, there is one other thing you can do that isn't documented in the instructions, and that's to place the cannon in there, like this, and then you have, well, actually, no, wrong way. You can put this part in this hand, and now you have something of a boom mic, or even maybe a small hammer for him to use. But I like the idea of more of a boom mic, since he's an intel officer. He'd be using microphones of various sizes and designs to gather intelligence. So yeah, This is kind of useless, and I end up just not keeping it with Soundwave. In fact, I end up giving it to other Transformers like Ironhide and Ratchet, because I think it works better for them as a handgun. It looks okay, but yeah, we're just going to set this off to the side. Now, the other thing I really like about the Soundwave Soundblaster mold is, as you can see with his shoulder cannon, you can actually point the cannon up out of his field of vision. The one thing I always have a problem with Soundwave is that if the cannon is set up like this, it would completely block anything on his right side, obscuring it. With the design they've done, you can actually set the cannon to be at least up and a little bit more out of his way. So, yeah, not too bad. Again, this is why I really love this mold, and why, again, it spends 90% of its time in robot mode. So, a little size to some more comparisons. So here's Soundblaster with the original Soundwave from Siege. Both are awesome. If you had to twist an arm and make me ask, I would probably take Soundblaster. I like them both equally, but if you really had to twist my arm, I'd probably go with Soundblaster. Although, I've got to see if I can find a way to split their heads open and switch their visors so I can give this one the proper red visor he should have gotten in the first place, Hasbro. If this happens in Earthrise, Hasbro, me and you are going to have some problems. And compare him to Spinister. So, yeah. Honestly, he's a really awesome figure. I do recommend him. As I said before, he is a Walmart exclusive. Don't ask me why, he just is. But for whatever reason, Walmart decided to get the exclusive rights to sell this particular mold. I don't know why, they just did. So, he did show up in their Christmas shippers. So, I don't know how long he's going to be around after Christmas of 2019. So, there is a strong possibility he could also be going on clearance on December 26th of 2019. So, just a heads up, if you didn't want to pay for a full-priced Soundblaster, you might keep an eye on Walmart and see if they clearance those Transformers that are in the shippers out as fast as possible. So, you know, just a heads up. Other than that, I think Soundblaster is an absolutely amazing figure, just like Soundwave. I highly recommend him if you're a Soundblaster fan or a Soundwave fanboy like me. So until next time, this is Titan Zed saying I'll see ya when I see ya.